Hello there, and we are live. See ya, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome. See, people. I know, I'm a little bit late, but I'm just coming back. You know, my brother down here, the Gunner's Edge, is also just coming back from work. People, it is. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, but even if we spend time, with our own personal life, doing all this stuff. Oh my days. And people, the phone keep ringing. Yeah, it keeps ringing. So people, even if we have our own private things doing, when we have the time, we're gonna come down here and do our show. Yeah. So that's what it is. So big up to the Gunners Edges of me on our show, people. Yeah. Arsenal Unhinged. See, Dio, you welcome to the show. How you doing, my bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good to be back. We didn't do a show last week because I wasn't feeling very well. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
what Tony just said. We still have our everyday life, but at least we must come and do what we need to do. We must do what we need to do. Yeah, so Arsenal Unhinged, we are
See,
here.
I'll give you a
So
little bit,
now I'm trying to get
a
my
little bit of some ceramic.
I'm trying to get my
Some
excitement up.
ceramic.
Yes, so very necessary.
Mm,
So yeah,
mhm.
man. Yeah, yes, it's good to be back.
See, Dio, lots of things to talk about, my bro, under this 1 hour. Yeah, lot of things. As you can see, the assembled is already ready for you. The one thing I like, the assembled is always ready for you. So it is what it is. Pick up the assembled. My prophet says, "Good evening, good evening," says the assembled. See, Dio, let's delve into the first trophy. See, many people don't want to call it a trophy now because Arteta has won it. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a trophy. If Pep, yeah, the best manager in world football, to me, yeah, said that is a trophy, yeah. If Mereska came out and said this is the first trophy of the season, I want to grab it. Who am I to say that that's not a trophy? Arsenal dismantling Manchester City, people, yeah? 3-0. Dio, I know you have a lot to say. I mean, take a pop, my guy. Take a pop.
Yeah, I mean,
Go some Calafiori
be
Cholis.
to be
It is
honest, there
what it
wasn't
is,
there
isn't it?
wasn't much. There wasn't much for me. There's not much to say about that game except that I kind of told everybody. I said what you saw in preseason is not what you're going to see in the final. The Community Shield,
Yeah.
or because again, last season people forget that we lost two preseason games.
Yeah.
People forget that we did not win all our
Yeah.
preseason games. We weren't looking.
Yeah. We didn't
I
have
think
we didn't have a good
I think
precision
Newcastle was the only game.
games last
I think
season, isn't it?
Newcastle was the only game where we really looked good, where Max Darman shined a little bit, and that was the first one. Every other preseason game we didn't look good, and we went on to win the league. So I don't. I see preseason games as getting your fitness up, but then the Community Shield. Let's call it what it is. It was men versus boys. I don't think City understand how different they are now. Without Pep, without Rodri, without Bernardo Silva, without John Stones, they don't understand how different they are. Even though they still have a lot of key players. For example, if you look at their squad, only one new player addition that they bought in the summer, Elliot Anderson, was
Yeah.
added to that team. Everybody else there has been at City, and they've at least been there a season or two at the very least. And the Arsenal squad, on the Arsenal side, we were without Saliba. We brought in Mosquera. We were without who else did we start again? We started Solis on the left. So we even
Yeah.
had a couple more new players actually on the squad more than them, but we looked
Yeah.
more unified. So for me,
Mhm.
it's about the system, and that's what I like. The system works because Arteta has created a system now, and you saw the football. The football was free flowing. I told everybody we're not playing haram ball this season because once you
Yeah.
get the monkey off your back, it becomes easier to just play. And there's another thing that happened that most people don't realize.
Mm.
I don't know if for people who do sports, whenever you eventually win a sport, the next time there's a competition, it's by default. You're not trying to be, but you come with a swag. It's just by default because now everybody
Mm.
now looking at you differently, and everybody wants to
Yeah.
attack you in a certain way, and you know now that you are the target that everybody wants to get over, and that makes you up your game a little more. And that's why I said I don't
Yeah.
think that once you win the league, you're going to be playing the same way you played last
Yeah.
season. And we saw it. We saw the first. This is like this is like the very first game. It's not indicative of how the season would be, but at least it tells me that every club had preseason, every club had time to prepare, and we now see how Arsenal's preparations, how it's worked out in the way we set up. So yeah, um, and that for me is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Just before you go deeper into that, do you think City might try to get Zubimendi if Rodri leaves? That's a big question because Rodri has just signed his contract at FC Barcelona. People,
Yeah.
big things popping for Barcelona this season, isn't it? Transfer window. So, what do you think,
Yeah,
man?
but I don't know if they'll go for Zubimendi. I thought Elliot Anderson was the person who was supposed to come in and understudy Rodri for Rodri's last season. That was the whole plan. The whole plan was to pay the 116 million to bring this kid
I
in.
mean,
But assuming Rodri stayed, he would have been the guy to pair with Rodri every now and then, double pivot. And then when Rodri leaves, he takes on that main
yeah,
role. So I don't think they come for Zubimendi. And even if they come
that
for
role.
Zubimendi, well, you now have to pay premium. At this stage, this is what the market is. So I think that Elliot Anderson is who they wanted, and they paid premium for him already. So I don't think that they're going to come for Rodri. Come for Zubimendi.
But that why is Zubimendi on the market though? Why is he on the market though?
He's not on the market.
Why is Zubimendi on the market though?
Zubimendi is not on the market. Nope, he's not on the market. Nobody has inquired about him yet. But that does not mean that the club cannot come and
Chelsea have inquired. Chelsea have inquired.
But there's a difference between inquiry.
Chelsea have inquired.
There's a difference between inquiry and you, the club, Arsenal, trying to sell. If I come to you, Tony, and I say, Tony, do you want to sell me your glasses? And you tell me no, then it's no. I just came to ask a question. So anybody can inquire about anybody. Clubs will inquire about your players if the player is good. Inquiring about a player does not mean that you, the club, wants to sell. So we didn't put Zubimendi on the market. That's what I want to clarify, because the way some people speak about it is they try to paint it like Arsenal is so bad as a club. They're not so organized that they want to sell some of their good players. No. If you come and inquire, that's fair enough. That tells me I have a quality player. So come and ask, and I'll tell you I'll tell you the no. But if I feel like, you know what, if you come to me with £100 million now, tell me you want Zubimendi, take him. And I'll take that 100 million and go and pay to Atletico and bring in Julian Alvarez. And then I'll let Miles Skelly take that Zubimendi role permanently. I won't share the workload. Miles Skelly, get ready to work yourself to the bone this season. It is, but again, we did not put him up for sale. Inquiries will be made, and that's fair enough. Barcelona made inquiries about Gyökeres. We didn't put him up for sale. Barcelona asked. Clubs will always ask. If a club looks at themselves and they assess what they need, and then they look at other teams and say, oh, you guys have extra here. Let's ask them. Are you interested in selling? No, I'm not interested. Then fair enough. Boom. So I don't. The way some people phrase it on Twitter and everything is like almost as if it's Arsenal that is trying to get rid of.
I get it. Then back to them. Exactly. Then back to this Community Shield. I mean, man, look at our midfield, bro. That's not even our first team. Yeah. But look at how we outplayed. Big up to you, Sharon. Hello, straight right back to you, Sharon. Sharon Sasso. Big up to you. How you doing? Aces in the building. They assembled in the building. Big up to these people. I'm looking at Anderson, who was bought for 117 mil, bro. And I'm looking at Miles Lewis-Kelly, looking at what he did to bro. Did you see what they did to Anderson, bro? Making them look like school kids, bro. Sincerely, I don't really know. That isn't our first team. It's not. It doesn't look like our first team. We made Man City look like children, like kids, bro. And what bothers me is that that's not our first team. because we know our
we
first team.
we don't we don't
We
we
know
don't
the
have a
Rice will play in the
no
first team. We
we don't
know
have a
Gumares will play in that same team too. When they are not
we
playing
don't
together, bro, that's a fragmented team, and we still used it and still beat up Man City, bro.
I don't think that. Let me put it this way: we might have what you call our strongest team and not really first team. According to what Mikel Arteta said in an interview that I watched today, he had an interview with the men in Blazers, and they asked him a few questions. It was an hour-long interview. I watched the entire thing on my way from work when I was in traffic, just listening. And there are things that he said when they asked him about Max Dalman specifically. He said,
Yeah.
He said, we've integrated him into the senior team and we want him to be part of the senior team, but he still has to earn his stripes. He says, even Bruno Guimaraes, since they asked him about Bruno, he said, Bruno's joined the team. He's making the team stronger, but he also has to earn his minutes. He says, what we have now is a team. He says, it's a team that is adaptable. And then they asked him about Saliba's injury. I said, how does that affect Arsenal? And he says, it's not going to affect us. He says, because what we've been trying to build at Arsenal is a system that is not dependent on any single one player. So we're dynamic. Depending on who we're playing, we feel the right people. Declan Rice was on the bench when Miles Lewis Skelly started the match. Declan could have started beside Bruno Guimaraes and played the first half, and then you sub them in the second half. But no, he let Miles because they've worked on it in training. So I tend to listen more to what the manager is saying, so that if it doesn't work out like that on the pitch, I can call him a liar. I'll say, I watched your interview. You said this, and this, and this is what you did differently on the pitch. But if you said A, B, C, and you do A, B, C on the pitch and it works, kudos to you. So yeah, I don't think Arsenal looks at themselves as, or the manager looks at some players as first team. Now he's realized that yes, there's a spine. Declan Rice is a spine. That's why I said our strongest team. Declan Rice is a spine. Saliba is a spine, but he's injured. He's out now. So Gabriel, Raya, these are the spine, right? Saka on the right in the attack. They're more like, So if you listen to that interview, you'll get more insight to the way he spoke about the players, the things that they asked him about each of the players, and how he responded. So yeah.
But wait, just before we get into these questions, I mean, somebody's down here. Drew Gunner, big ups to you, my broski. He says, bless up Tony and everyone. That's my guy, yeah. Big ups to you. But see, this Saliba thing you just talked about, I'm not gonna touch on it because when I was watching the preseason, I saw how our defense was looking. It was looking shabby. It was looking, it wasn't coherent enough. Mosquera did not give me that assurance that he's ready to take us on to the next level, even if Saliba is not down there, that there's going to be a drop-off. That was what I saw. This Man City game completely erased all those doubts away. So now, I'm not saying that, now the defense is okay. But I'm saying, is it just because of this is now a competitive kind of
it's because
so that's why there was this step up.
No, so again, you have to realize Mikel Arteta said something at the beginning of the preseason. Arsenal had a optional early preseason that it was optional for players to join if they wanted to. Mikel Arteta started a week early and offered any players, and Calafiori and the likes of them came down. Then the main preseason, he says there's going to be 3 sets of players that are going to play, and there's things that we are looking for. They were not looking to try to win or be the best defense in preseason. They were looking at getting fitness levels up, getting minutes into their legs, getting their, the strategy right, the tech right. Even if you concede 4 goals, okay, you were meant to be positioned half a yard more. You notice that, all right? So now that's what they were working on. So they didn't really care much about it until now that you now need to care because you've worked out the kinks. You just came back. These guys just came back from the World Cup. A lot of them just started coming back from, a break. You can't just be up and firing. And then we played against teams who already their own league has started. What's this guy's name that we played in Girona? Not that their league had started, but Girona had played like 4 or 5 games before they played us. So they were already fit. We were not. So
they were already in the
they've gotten
already in the zone. Yeah,
they've got some things in their some minutes in their legs. So for me, it's always like I'm very objective about how I judge what we're doing, because again, you saw the likes of this young boy from our academy in the midfield. We know he's not playing in the Premier League. That Nigerian kid, very talented, that played in midfield. We saw the likes of some other youngsters who were Mali Salmon is not starting the whole this thing. He played a lot of minutes in preseason.
But Salmon
Yeah.
looks good too, though.
No, I'm not saying he doesn't look good, but I'm saying he's not playing Champions League for us, or in or Premier League. But he played in the preseason, and then Arsenal fans were like, the defense is so bad. It's Mali Salmon that is in the. He's a 16-year-old kid. You're judging what Saliba and Gabriel might do, or what Calafiori and Nkapie will do when they are not on the pitch now, and it's Salmon, like by using that game to then judge what the other senior guys to do didn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
so I was like,
exactly. Okay, Dayo. Yeah, see, we had a good one against Man City. The defense looked coordinated. I like the defensive display. And again, there'll be someone we have to talk about right now, immediately after this one. But would you still go ahead looking at our defense against Man City? Those should be the people challenging the title with us. And look at what we did to them. Wipe them with the floor. Bro, I can even count out. Bro, how many shots on goal do they have? But again, throw that all away. Would you still go and get a central defender to come to this football club and help us out until Saliba comes back? Or you're looking at that game and you're saying, you know what, this is our biggest rivals for the title. And we'll just whack them with the floor. And the defense looked totally good. Why should we go and spend 60, 40, 50 million in bringing in another defender that would actually take time to actually acclimatize into this team? Why can't we just see it through until Saliba comes back? What's your headspace with this one, man?
I would say that the only reason why you should get a defender is not because, again, you lose Saliba, you need to bring somebody in, regardless of what you have backing him up. So Mosquera is there, I agree. But what if Mosquera gets an injury tomorrow? Then you have a problem. You need bodies to be able to just keep us rotating. That's all it is. It's not a case of, there's a statement that I listened to today from Mikel Arteta. They asked him, they said, do you worry about what rivals and like how rivals are going to perceive you, like, the plans that they have? He says, I don't have control over how they're going to show up. What I have control over is what we do as Arsenal. And that's what we focus on. So we're focused on the team and we're saying to ourselves, if Ben White, who is injury prone, is now fit, but he could easily get injured, then right now, Timber is still out. He's not back until another week or two. We don't know if it's going to be longer. God forbid. Hopefully he comes back early. That means you're already out of two main defenders, Timber and Saliba. And there's injury-prone defenders that you have. You need to bring a body in. For that reason only. Not forget the whole, let him come and acclimatize or not acclimatize. No. Do a job in 1 or 2 games till this person comes back, and then, boom. And even when that person comes back, you're not throwing them in the deep end.
So you're in favor of bringing in a defender, right?
I'm in favor of bringing in a defender.
Okay, good. Then that's good. So now it means that you don't fully trust Mosquera. Can we say that?
No, I trust Mosquera, but if he gets injured is what I'm saying. There is a difference. I am only bringing a defender because if Mosquera gets injured, we're screwed. We have Saliba and Mosquera in that position. One is already injured.
So you trust Mosquera?
I trust Mosquera. I
want to get this out of you.
Let me say it again. I trust
Mosquera.
I just said it. I trust Mosquera to play a lot of games. But if he plays a lot of games, he will get injured, which is why I'm bringing in a backup again, so that the workload can be shared. You're talking about Saliba, the best center back right now in the world. You have to have 2 bodies there to replace what is missing by Saliba. You cannot expect one person to do it. Mosquera is not Saliba level at any given time, and Saliba is up there. There's very few defenders that you can match up against him. So you need double bodies to be able to cover what Saliba does for you, because Mosquera is not going to play 64 games and be fit through all 64. Or the next 30 games back to back. Then guess what? That means we break him too. So the whole essence of bringing in another player is not based on trust. Every time we do these conversations where I hear people on Twitter, it's because Mikel doesn't trust this person. It's just, that's a narrative. The manager is saying last season, Zubimendi played 57 games out of 64. That's way too much. When he got tired in the second half of the season, fans were, he's such a bad, he's no longer good.
Are those lives though? He doesn't trust Waneri. I mean, come on, man. Let's not.
It's not that he doesn't
Let's
trust
not
him.
dilly-dally about it.
Listen, it's not that he doesn't trust him.
Come on.
What, you know what? The language is what I don't understand. You cannot say a manager does not trust somebody, right? You have to earn your minutes. When Ethan had few minutes last season before he went on loan, before he went on any loan, the few minutes he had in the FA Cup that we played, he didn't look good. Ethan didn't look good in the Carabao Cup as well. We know the talent is there, but there's something that still needs to be done to upend it. If you don't look good in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, you want me to trust you with Champions League, and then in training, you've got to show it up in training. Then we send you off to France, and everything fell apart there because the manager who wanted to help grow you left that club. So there's something that just needs to be fixed for Ethan to get more minutes. Fair enough, but it's not about not trusting the player. I think, and because when we do that, we paint the manager in a certain light. Like Arteta is some arrogant guy, doesn't trust. What do you mean he doesn't trust Ethan? When Ethan was given minutes, Ethan did nothing with those minutes. You've got to show up and show up. Miles Lewis-Kelly was given minutes and he showed up. Miles Lewis-Kelly started as a left back. The minute we played him in midfield, guess what? That kid stepped up and showed up. He showed up so much so that he was trusted in the Champions League final. He came back again this season. He played a couple of preseason games, and as soon as we played in this Community Shield, he showed up again. That's what you do when you get those minutes. Max Dallman has showed up in certain games. When he got his chance against Everton, and I'll say this again, and I'll say this again. Ethan, last year, that is why, yes, he does have a lot of
competition in the area he's playing.
But that's why
who could play in that position. This
is what I'm saying.
Play in that position.
Listen to what I'm saying. This I know. If you have competition, then you've got to edge out. You now have to show yourself. A good example of somebody who showed himself against Everton was a 16-year-old Max Dallman. A good example, Ethan showed himself last season when we played City. But guess what? We had already scored 4-1. He scored a wonderful fit goal. Don't get it wrong. But we had already scored 4 goals. And Max came into an Everton game where we could have drawn that game or lost that game, provided an assist, literally, with the cross in, and scored the second goal. So when you want to show up and show out, you know what Max has done? He's made it hard for some people now. Because if he gets another chance, he'll show up and show out. Miles Lewis-Kelly has done the same thing, which is why Zubimendi is now in the pecking order lower. Because if you look at it, it's Declan, Bruno, Miles first. That's the list now. That's the list before you even talk. So again, that's what you do. You show up and show out. And I don't think Ethan has done enough of that. He's very, very talented. Don't get it twisted. Very, very talented. I love Ethan, but he hasn't showed up and showed out yet. And in a team,
would you say it's just unlucky because of the kind of caliber of players that are in that same position? I mean, it would be very odd to bench Odegaard and put him in it. It would be so.
It's not that it would be very odd. My point is,
I'm not talking of if the players are on form. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the caliber, the name. It would be odd to drop an Odegaard in it. It would be hard to drop an Eze for him.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. I don't expect Odegaard to play Carabao Cup. I don't expect him to play FA Cup. I expect Ethan to be the one playing there, but I expect Ethan to show up in those games, and he hasn't showed up in those games in the past. Until you show up there, then you cannot get a chance to come and play in the Premier League. That's all I'm saying. If I were the manager, it's last year in the FA Cup. He was the one. He played the first few FA Cup games he played and the Carabao Cup games. He didn't show up and show out. Then we organized a move for loan. In his first couple of games there, he looked good, and then he struggled over there as well. So you've got to look at that and say, okay, you didn't show up and show out. You're very talented, I get it, but you didn't show up and show out in the few games that you played for Arsenal in FA Cup and Carabao Cup. You get to France, you bust out in the first game. The second and the third game, and then the new manager comes and the new manager drops you because he had a different way of playing. So you didn't get enough game time again there. So now you're back in preseason. We've seen him this preseason. He hasn't. You've got to show up and show out in preseason. I don't care. Solis, even when we lost the game, Solis showed up and showed out.
He didn't have a bad preseason. It didn't have a bad preseason though.
I know, but I'm saying you're missing my point. Listen, I'm not saying he had a bad preseason. I'm saying if you want to be able to topple the likes of Odegaard and Eze, you have to show up and show out. You cannot just have an okay preseason. You have to have a
Yeah.
preseason that has a mad
Okay.
impact
I hear that.
for the manager to turn his face.
Hmm.
This is not. I'm not trusting your talent to
Yeah.
carry this team. I'm trusting you to be able to show me that you can actually go up and above. Yes, you're talented, but go up and above because of the people who are there in front of you may not have the talent that you have, but they've gone up and above. Odegaard runs 90 minutes. Can you run 90 minutes and start to press like that for me, Ethan, consistently? Like
Yeah.
there's things that you're going to require of a
Yeah.
player that So, hey, I love the kid, and I want him to stay at Arsenal. I think that if he can just show like
Do
he
you
has
think
it on
there's
his side.
space for him to actually play? Is there space for
Yeah,
him to play in this team?
bro.
Though?
Last
Because
season
I
we
mean, I'm looking at the fans, yeah, and the fans are. I mean, the fans are not happy with his situation at the football club because they look at one area and they're looking at him like, oh, this is one of our own. This is one guy that came from the trenches, yeah.
yeah.
Built, with the team, and now it's time for him to really enjoy the situation right now. And now, it's like we're trying to force him, force him out of the football club. And this is a kid
Again, I'm
that
not again. I'm going to say this.
put
I'm not.
Arsenal first. When Chelsea
Listen,
came to ask him, hey, come join us, he said no. He turned it down. He's shown some form of loyalty to us. And then it looks like we're not trying to just flog him off and force him out of the team. And imagine
nobody.
we're
Again, you see,
playing in
this
the
is this is this
in the
is
Community Shield, and his name was not registered. His name was not registered, bro. I can understand Gabriel Martinelli. His numbers has been poor. Yeah, if you're trying to force out Martinelli, I get that. I clearly understand that. But I mean, an ill-end kid that. I mean,
let's
sent
stop
on
this. Let's
loan,
stop this.
came
You know what?
back.
Let's stop this sentiment.
I
This is
mean,
what
it
Arsenal.
doesn't really look that
No.
good.
This is what Arsenal fans do to just farm a level of anger to the club for no reason, and to the managers and to the people.
No, it's not
This whole
anger.
no. Let me.
Bro,
No, I'm not. Hear me.
what
I
is
did
the
not say
anger there?
you. I did not. Let me
There's no
finish. I
anger
didn't
there.
say, not you.
It's normal words.
I
It's
let.
facts.
I didn't interrupt you when you're speaking. I let you speak. I did not interrupt you. What I'm saying is, I don't understand this blind loyalty to the fact that yes, Ethan is talented, came from Hilland. There's no sentiment to any player. If I'm going to win the Champions League because I have to sell Ethan, I will sell Ethan. I don't have any sentiment. Do you understand? Towards like, oh yeah, Hilland, yeah, this, yeah, that. Yes, fair enough. I love it. I love the storyline. I would love it to be the best thing to happen for you to come into the club. In fact, for you to be better than Odegaard and kick him out. So I can say it's all Hilland kids, Miles Lewis-Kelly, Ethan Nwaneri, Max Darman, and Bukayo Saka that carried us now. That would be a beautiful story for us now. But what would be a more beautiful story is the club was well run. We knew when to let go of players. Players had to leave. Yes, we love you, but you had to leave. And we went on and we won stuff. That's a better story for me than this whole like, oh, Ethan. Because now look at it. I'm not hearing anybody criticize the football because of how we played against City. I'm not hearing anybody trying to criticize the manager anymore. Now they're looking for, oh, he's not giving Ethan minutes. Now that's the issue that Arsenal has. Like, is that the issue? Is that an Arsenal issue right now?
No, Dio, you're getting this all wrong. There will be talking points. There will be talking points.
Yeah, but let's talk about the real talking. Let's talk about real talking points.
Like that, and he's not playing. There will be talking points. So it's not about bad mouthing the manager or looking for something. No, it's about Ethan is one of our own, and it wasn't even registered for the Community Shield. It doesn't look good. And again, I'm not saying that that's an indictment on the manager. I'm just saying, is someone out there trying to mismanage the situation with one area where most of our ill-end kids are being sold off for nothing? And mind you, again, you're turning the blind eye. Even this same Mas Lewis-Kelly you're talking about, man was heavily linked to Chelsea. Man United, it was heavily linked to Man United.
What was the heavy link? 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 No, you can't just make a statement and not. Tony, what was the listen? What was the heavy link?
That even before this Community Shield, yeah, we were, there were talks out there that Arsenal.
What was the heavy? What? Give me the concrete. Give me the concrete
shocking
evidence. No.
shopping Martinelli,
Give me
Waneri, and putting
the
Matt
concrete
Lewis Kelly
again.
into that
Give me
conversation.
the concrete.
No, I'm
Give me the
just saying, bro.
Tony. You can't just say something and not back it up. Give me the concrete evidence that Arsenal walked up to this club.
Bro,
no, because I don't want. Listen, I don't want to hear.
Bro,
I don't want to hear if buts and maybes.
Tell you
Listen,
they do,
I don't want to hear if buts and maybes.
These are internal procedures. These are internal procedures, bro.
Listen, I don't want to hear if buts and maybes. And I don't want superlatives. I don't want all this surface level. Oh, I saw it on Twitter. Somebody found something. I said something.
Arsenal is consistent.
Do you know who put? Do you know who put? Listen, do you know we have Martinelli
clubs in Europe?
Can you stop first?
Arsenal taking a stand and said to the public, "Hey, we want to send Martinelli off." No, bro.
For Martinelli, for Martinelli, we've known from time that he's going to be up for sale if he had not pushed up his level last season.
Did the club tell you?
No, listen. Arsenal, let me tell you what it is. Yes, so Arsenal, yes,
we want to sell Martinelli.
So Arsenal has.
They told you.
No, we have spoken to clubs that came to inquire about Martinelli, and we put a price tag on Martinelli. Arsenal put a price tag. That means that they are willing to sell the player. When somebody comes to ask you, do you want to sell this player? You say, yes, this is my price tag. How much do we put on him? 50 million euros, because we want to ship him. That tells you the club wants to ship him. Now, listen, with Matt Lewis Kelly. Where
is the proof?
Galatasaray came with a 38 point. Hold on. Galatasaray, did they not come with a bid?
Where is the proof?
Go and read the Athletic. Go and read the Athletic and read what it said. And I'm telling you where the proof is. I'm telling you. You don't want to listen to the proof. I'm telling you where the proof is now. The Athletic reported it that Galatasaray came with 38.5 million pounds, which was beneath what Arsenal valued the player at. Value, which means the club has put a price tag on Martinelli.
The same Athletic that told us that we were gonna get Vinicius Jr. Come on,
that's not what the Athletic said. That's not how they said it. That's not how they said it. You see, this is, I don't like all this. See, Tony, me and you are going to go back and forth over this. I like honesty. The Athletic never said we were getting Vinny Jr. The Athletic said that Arsenal are ready to pay if there is a chance that Vinny wants to move, which means they are reporting that Arsenal is willing to spend money if there is a chance. He never said Arsenal are getting Vinny Jr. Let's not. If we're going to do this show, I don't want to be misinformation. I hate it. I hate misinformation. Let's call it as it is.
Bro, it's part of the game. There's always
no. It's not part of the game. It's not part of the game. Anyway, my point is. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. Tony. My point is this: when the club puts a value on the player, that means that they don't mind selling the player. When the club does not put a value on the player and you come and inquire, that means that player is not going anywhere. So if Chelsea comes and says, is Miles for sale? If United come and say, is Miles for sale? And you say no, you don't even put a price because you don't want to sell him. So all that noise came from the Chelsea and United camp saying, oh, they are shopping Miles. If they shopped him to you, how much did they quote for you? If Arsenal comes to shop, if I come and shop you a player, should I not come and say, do you want to buy Miles Lewis Kelly for 80 million? Nobody talked about the price because Arsenal never said anything. Common sense would tell me that if I'm going to shop something to you, I must give you the price along with it. At no point did anybody mention the price. Guess what it was? An inquiry was made by agents and third-party agents. We used the third-party agent when we wanted to do the Newcastle deal with Bruno Guimaraes.
No shit. We're not Arteta out. I'm not Arteta out. I'm Arteta in, bro. If you've won me a Premier League, you should stay. Yeah. As for Dio, he has always been an Arteta inner. So it is what it is, you know.
So Tony,
I mean,
you know
I've been Arteta out, but I mean, he has won the title, so he can stay.
Tony, can I say this?
Yeah.
Can I say this? Remember when we were doing the Bruno Guimaraes deal, we used a third party. We used a guy called Kia. These are the kind of guys who come and inquire about stuff. Yeah. Good. So people from Chelsea could have come to inquire about Miles Lewis Kelly, and Arsenal did not put a price on it, which means Arsenal don't want to sell. But when it comes to Martinelli, it's been reported multiple sources that Arsenal have put a 50 million euro price tag on him, which means you're willing to sell this guy because you put a price tag. And that's how I know whether it's Arsenal that is actually the one trying to sell a player or it's just noise from outside. Because if the club wants to sell, they'll put a price tag on that player immediately and say, this is the cost, so 80 million. If you want, now let's negotiate. If they're not putting a price tag, it's not coming from Arsenal. It's coming from the noise from the outside. But Arsenal fans will say, oh, it's Arsenal that want to shop Miles. How can I go and shop Miles to other clubs and not put a price there? Am I shopping him for free? Am I trying to offer Miles Lewis Kelly to Chelsea and United for free? I must be able to come in and say, okay, show me. Which is why when I said show me the proof.
Again, bro. Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from, but there were rumors that Matt Lewis Kelly is been talked to by Manchester United. That Man United want to bid for him. I mean, Waneri to Chelsea. I mean, all these football clubs, yeah, they're all trying to tap up Arsenal's and kids, and it's a worry for me because Manchester United was successful in pitching their tent with Chido Obi, yeah, and he left. So and these are our talents, yeah. Sometimes I'm not saying that they should play all the games, but there'll be times where we're gonna need this kind of profile of players in the Carabao Cup, in the starting preliminaries of the FA Cup. You know, we'll need this players to show up the space. But again, it is what it is. If Mikel Arteta wants to sell Waneri, I trust his decision. He's the manager. He has won me a Premier League. Based on that, he can make this, he could make these concessions. He could make this stuff. But it better be something that would benefit the club long term. Because it's good and okay to bring all these players, probably.
I remember. Let me tell you this. I remember how Arsenal. Fans. Let me say this. I'm coming. Can I respond to that real quick? I remember when Arsenal fans were making the same noise about.
So if Matt Lewis Kelly,
let me finish now.
So now, wait. So now, if Matt Lewis Kelly doesn't have a good season this season, does it mean that next season is going to be put up for sale? No, these are the things I'm talking about that you're not getting.
I hear you, but you're being sentimental is what I'm saying. So can I respond now? Can I respond now to what you just said? Right? Without you interrupting me. Because I've let you say, no, I've let you say what you want to say. Let me come and say this to you. Emil Smith Rowe, we had the same emotional breakdown with Arsenal fans with Emil Smith Rowe. Remember? Oh, Emil Smith Rowe, why are we letting him go? Just because he had a bad season last season, just because he had it. Listen, some players might be talented, they just might not be meant for us to stay with us. I believe that you're talented and I would love to have you at my club. But if you're not meant to be there, I beg you, let's move you on so that Arsenal can focus on what needs to really come in. Otherwise, we force it. You keep the player. Okay. He's unhappy. He doesn't get enough minutes. Meanwhile, there's a talent in Highland that probably would be able to come in and break in after him. And he would have gone up and had a better career at Villa or somewhere else. I'm just not sentimental about it. As much as I love the player, not everything that is good that you have, that you grew in your house, that you eat. Arsenal will never get to a point, or any club will never get to a point where your entire 11 will be from your academy. Sometimes you breed some of these players and they get to where they are, and you're just like, you know what? And it's good to cash in early sometimes when the talent is still there and say, here's the price. And then put in a clause, maybe a buyback clause to say, okay, if he does he's 19, 20, put in after 5-year contract, we want a buyback clause. We'll see. And then option to buy first before you take him anywhere else. Yeah. That also tells the player that the club still loves you and they want you to come back. So there's many ways that this can be dealt with. It doesn't have to mean that they have to play for Arsenal. And that's all I'm saying. The solution to some of these problems are not just if they don't give it a minute in Arsenal. There's a finite number of players you can register every season. There's a finite number that you can register every season. There's also a finite number of players that you can field every season to play. And if they tell him that, okay, we're going to put you into this group, you're going to play, but we can only give you 5-10 games. And then he says, I need more minutes. Well, if you need more minutes, you can't get it here right now at this point. You might be able to get it next season. But this season, based on what the plan is, so for me, if I need to move him on with, a clause that is in the contract that says I get first option to buy, and if I turn down that option, I want a 30 or 40% sell-on clause that if you sell him again, I still get money back from him. That shows the value that I put into you. Yeah, and not everybody will fit into Arsenal, and I'm not sentimental about that at all. I'm like, for me, no. Like if Saka gets injured now and has a whole season out, and I can go and get Lamine Yamal, why would I be upset that Saka is hurt? Are we pained because I love Saka? But the club has to move on. We have to continue winning.
Fact. Shady, big up to Shady. Shady came here to join us today. MLS was treated way worse than him last season, but he bossed the midfield on the very first game he was trusted. I mean, Dio, big statement, isn't it?
But that's what I'm saying. Like MLS had a bunch of times where we put him on the bench. He played left back, and he didn't look good sometimes. And there was something that, again, and this is something that I tried to do. I tried to go and research and find interviews and stuff. I remember an interview that I saw last season, and Mikel Arteta said, we see him as a midfielder. We're working on this. So the reason they pulled him from left back and did not play him left back throughout the whole season again was in training, they were working with him to transition into the midfield. Hence why the minute he got a chance, he looked good. I don't know if Zubi is off. I don't know why. I think this is just inquiry.
I mean, we have Kat Bumbleclat here saying Ethan has not been given a chance.
That's not true. Ethan was given a chance.
How do you tackle this one now?
Again, this is how you know that this cannot be true, because the only reason you can get a Premier League medal is if you played 5 games at the very base minimum for the senior team in the Premier League. Ethan got a medal. Ethan was part of people that was giving a Premier League medal, which means he qualified. He played 5 games at least in the Premier League, and he played in the Carabao Cup, and he played in the FA Cup. And if you remember, we got to the Carabao Cup final, which means we played many games in the Carabao Cup. We got to the semi-final of the FA Cup, which means we played multiple games in there as well. So Ethan must have gotten at least 11 games, and I don't think any one of you can remember any one of those games where he shined, where you can say, oh, I remember Ethan did this in a game. Let's be honest. If you can't do that in 10 games in a team like Arsenal, where there's quality everywhere, where you just have to overshine. If you can't, that's why Lewis Kelly is a big deal, because he's showed, look, I kid you not, the way Lewis Kelly has played, you can play him as a lone 6. He showed the manager that you can remove Declan and Bruno, and I can play lone 6. He's already showed that.
And I can play lone. Yeah.
You know, and that's why I'm saying,
even in preseason, it showed that it could be our CDM.
So this is why I'm saying, like, everybody's
CDM.
saying, everybody's saying Ethan are going off the season where he scored the 5th goal against Man City, and then he looked good in dribbling a couple of people in other games. Let's be realistic about it. What's his resume in those 11 games that he played last season? What did he show me? I can tell you what Miles Lewis Kelly showed me, even in the finals of the Champions League. I can tell you what Max Dowman showed me in the preseason against Newcastle and against Everton.
In that game against Everton. Yeah.
Like, just I can pick
in
games
in a high pressure match like that. Showing up.
I can pick those games. So my thing is, Ethan was given those chances, and they were not even the highest pressure of games, and he didn't show up and show out. He's got to show up and show out. I love the kid. He just has to bring it. He has it on inside of him.
Look at Kat Bumbleclat here. He says Arsenal need to sell Fabio Vieira Nelson. I would also send Eze away and Madueke. I would keep Waneri and Dalman and give them some minutes as subs. What do you have to say?
Okay, so Fabio Vieira and Nelson, I don't know why you guys keep bringing up these guys. We know that they're up for sale. I think we're looking to just farm.
No, but they're still here, bro.
I'm not saying
why would they talk about them, bro? Don't do this, bro. Why wouldn't they talk about them?
Can I finish my sentence before you jump down my throat? I'm not saying they're not there. They haven't kicked the ball for Arsenal outside Fabio Vieira, who just kicked the ball for over a year and a half. 18 months, we've not seen Nelson on the pitch for Arsenal.
Bro, they played preseason. What are you talking about?
Here's my point.
They played preseason. What are you talking?
So here's my question. Here's my point about playing for Arsenal in any proper competitive game. Preseason, we saw academy kids play preseason. We had academy kids playing preseason there. So does that mean that, those guys too? Yeah, my point is, like, we know these guys have been out the door. They've been pushed out already. They've gone on loan. They've gone everywhere. Please, I don't want to have those conversations about those guys, because it's like going back to saying, is there any news that we're trying to integrate them back into the team? No. So what's the point of having, I'm getting rid of Eze? I think that's just jokes. I think that's jokes, because at this point in time, if you want to win anything, you have to have multiple quality players.
I think that's a long shot with Eze.
Yeah, commentators in France were saying good things about
Yeah.
Ethan. Yeah, I know,
I
but
don't,
this is this is why if I said what good thing did they say, because this is a very generic comment. It's easy for them to say good things about any player, like, oh, he looks good, he came with the ball, he did this, he did that, he did this. Fair enough, but my point is, you can't point at one game. You cannot be like, oh, I've seen this game where Ethan did this, and Ethan has it on the inside of him. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying he needs to then now open the door and show us. He needs to do that.
yeah.
I think if the manager, yes, shows
The
confidence in your
assembled here
ability,
says, do you think that if a manager shows confidence in your abilities, that raises your game?
yes, I think it raises your game. But I think it's for me, it's who came first, the egg or the chicken? You need to first show, like, you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in yourself. You need to go and get some of that Zlatan Ibrahimovic pride on the inside of you. I'll give you. I was watching a documentary on, not a documentary, but like the breakdown of Christian Solis, right? And how when he first started as a kid, he moved to Germany with his family just because they wanted better opportunity, and he was already playing in like a okay, fairly okay big club in Greece, right? Right, and then they move to Germany, and he goes to a Division 2 or Division 3 club where he is at. He eventually carries them. Like, you need to believe in yourself. When this interviewed his manager, his coach from his German club, because from there he moved back to Belgium. When they interviewed his coach from his German club, the guy said this kid had a particular character already that he had built by himself. So your manager's trust is the icing on the cake. You as a player, you need to up your pride and be like, hey, if I'm given the chance, I will do what the manager wants me to do in the profile that he set me up for. But today, you'll know that my ball control is 392% over 100. Today, you'll know that my passing range is like that's exactly what you want to do. And that's how. So because again, let me ask you this question: do you think that if there's a player on a team that does not have the technical capabilities, that a manager believing in you would automatically make you have that capability? No. It's not going to happen. You're not going to become the best passer because the manager
boils down
believes
to
in you.
what you can do.
It boils down to what you.
It still
exactly,
boils down to what you as a player can do.
That's it. That's it. That's
rather than any kind of belief the manager will give to you. Yeah, the manager can believe in you, and you can still not show up.
Yeah, you just have to show up.
The manager can give you 100%. Belief in you or whatever, and you can still not show up. So again, it's you. You have to show up, and I agree with you, Dio. I don't take it as if maybe I'm not with you. I'm with you in these things, yeah. But it's just that sometimes, you're looking for proof, and you will not find proof. Only Watkins out here loud says shady. Dragon says, smash the likes on both streams, please. Subscribe if you're new. Tony would really appreciate your support. And please, while you guys are at it, the Gunner's Edge is also a channel that needs your support too. So you have to actually go down there and support Dio down there on the channel.
Yeah, please go subscribe.
I don't know if he's churning out content these days, but my guy.
I did a live stream. I did a live stream this week now. I did a live this week, 2 days ago.
Yeah. So okay, 2 days ago. Okay. That Miles Lewis Kelly narrative was pushed by people from Chelsea, nothing from the club or MLS camp. Weird, and of course,
and again, you know why I know it's true. You know why I know it's you know why I know it's true.
He said it's all lies. It's not true.
Hold on. You know who Miles Lewis Kelly's manager is? His agent. You know who his agent is?
Who?
His mother.
His mother.
She got her agent license. His mother is his agent. If his mother was shopping him and putting price out, we would have known by now. This is just like there's no need to.
No. The narrative was that it's Arsenal that was shopping him, not his agent.
But that's the point though. But the point is, his mom would have kicked back against it. They would have been Miles' agent because you cannot just shop a player without telling his agent. You think the club would just go and say, I want to sell Miles, but you don't tell the agent. It's the agent that will broker their own percentage and deals too. So everybody must be in agreement. And the fact that nobody from Arsenal said anything, nobody from his camp said anything, I knew that this was and again, and nobody put a price tag on it. I knew it was being pushed from the other side. And it triggers Arsenal fans. Oh, Arsenal wants to sell Miles Lewis Kelly. Meanwhile, it's Chelsea inquiring and just putting out nonsense. And it might not even be Chelsea. It could be a third-party person, just like we use Kia to broker the Bruno Guimaraes deal. It could be a third-party person that is probably just inquiring to see if he can broker the deal and make something. And in brokering it, he tells a stupid lie online and says, oh, they offered him to me. Because nobody is mentioning it. Once you mention that the player has been shopped, the agent's name has to come into play. And Miles' mother's name never came into play because she's his agent.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, man. Skelly was only linked, his mom and his agent came out and said he is going nowhere. Exactly. That's what Dyer was saying. Hand of Arsenal said 2 months ago, Martinelli is up for sale. And of course, Drew says we cannot sell Martinelli unless we get a permanent replacement first. Are you with that, Dio?
No, I'm not. I don't operate like that where you say sometimes you just have to if a good offer comes from Martinelli today, I'll sell him. And if it means that I buy a replacement on the last day of the window, there's still 2 weeks of the window. If that's what needs to happen, that's what will happen. Again, I want the right left winger. The way I have perceived this whole left wing for Arsenal is after winning the Premier League, replacing Trossard with Christian Solis was a good thing. Similar style player, but now we have a younger version that will at least play many more years. And if you're going to replace Martinelli, it has to be a top left winger. If I'm not able to get any of the top left wingers this summer because they're not available or because they don't want to do the deal, I will get a slight level raiser above Solis, share the workload between those two on the left for this season and carry on. And then next season or in January, if a big top player becomes available, and when I say big top player, someone like Vinny was the ideal person for me. Again, because you make your money back on Vinny. Vinny is a brand outside the football. But I will not pay that kind of money for Barcola because he's not a brand. I will not pay that type of money for I might pay. If I spend 140 million on Barcola, I will not sell enough jerseys to make that money back. If I spend it on Vinny, I'll make enough money back. Just jerseys alone.
Yeah.
Brand deals on the side with Vinny will make that money back for me. So that's the way I perceive the kind of player that we want to get. A player that if we're paying that kind of premium across the board on and off the pitch is impactful on the club. Because we pay that kind of money in the bid that Barcola will come and uplift our left side, fair enough. And then Barcola gets injured and is out for 4 months. What do we then do? The so-called best player on the left wing now is injured. We're going to have to be dependent on who the backup is. But even if Vinny gets injured on that left side, there's still brand deals on the outside making our money back for us. We're still making our money back. If Barcola, you'll be losing money once he gets injured. So appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And again, there was even news today that Barcola wants an Arsenal transfer rather than a transfer to Liverpool. I mean, if it's you right now, would you be looking at that signing though? Mostly right now that you've seen Scholes,
I would be looking at that signing, and I'll tell you why.
Has showed up, bro.
I'll tell you why I'll be looking at that signing.
Why?
Because if I'm getting rid of Martinelli, I'm getting rid of the one person on my team that has the most pace. This is something that most Arsenal fans don't think about holistically. He's the fastest. He's the guy with the most pace in our team. If we lose Martinelli, we don't have pace running in behind. Let's just accept that for now. We'll have players that can play through the line, play through the middle, cut the ball back, do all of that. But we've lost pace.
But no pace. Yeah.
So now, if I'm going to lose my pace, I've got to bring a different profile of a left winger. Barcola likes to go head one-on-one. He likes to take on his man, dribble, cross, cut the ball in. Solis is a very efficient winger who gets the ball, cuts in, looks for his pass, boom. Solis is an assist machine and a goal-scoring machine in his own right. Barcola is that player that can literally break down a low block by dribbling one or two people and running at you as well. So these are two different types of profile on the left that I think can complement each other. In certain games, I play Solis. In certain
So
games, I play
would you
Bakola.
take Bakola though?
I'll take Bakola for 90
Would you
million at
take
the most.
Bakola though?
I said I'll take him for 90 million euros, which is like 80 million pounds at the most. Anything under 90 million, above 90 million euros, now I'm not paying. The market is inflated, so I'm willing to pay you up to 90 million euros, which is about 80 million pounds for Bakola. But anything above that, I'm not paying for that.
But again, will it really suit this Arsenal? I mean,
it depends.
look at
Again,
his numbers.
he will. Again, this is why.
And
This
for
is
me,
why.
that's a farmers league. For me,
It's not
that's a
about.
farmers league
It's
in a
not
way.
about.
Like the
Listen,
numbers
it's not about.
are not.
It's not about. It's not about the numbers, though. For me, it's about the.
Spending 140 million. Oh, come on, man. The
It's
player
not
has to be excessively better than Martinelli. Anyone who's replacing Martinelli has to be miles ahead of Gabriel Martinelli. I don't know if you have that same view, or do you want someone who would come who's below?
No, but I just answered. I just answered that already, Tony. I said to you, for me, the person that we should have gotten is Vinny. If we don't get Vinny, if we don't get a Vinny or a Kvaratskhelia, or go and pull PSG by the ear and say, here's the 110 million for Desiree Doué or 100 million for Desiree Doué. If we're not doing that, right? If we're not pushing that level, those levels of players, what I would suggest is just get a player. Solis is good enough. Get somebody else just slightly above and share the workload over the season. Play this market, use them wisely so that there's no injury. Then next summer, go and look for that blockbuster player. That's it.
Well, it is what it is. Dio, Arteta places a phone call to Alvarez. We heard yesterday that Mikel Arteta personally dialed up Alvarez. That's what's in the news for him to make this transfer happen. Looking at this team, do you think this Alvarez thing is really what we really need to galvanize this team? Is that the missing link Arsenal really needs to move a step further in winning the Champions League? Is Alvarez that guy? Because I'm still looking at Alvarez's numbers, and bro, his numbers are not really that good. I know he brings other things to the team. He brings this, it brings some certain kind of weight to our attacking flair. I hear that. He could also multitask in terms of playing through the wings, to play as a main striker. You could also tuck him in behind the main striker. But again, his numbers are not really that eye-shattering or ceiling-shattering, yeah? If Mikel Arteta is dialing up Alvarez right now, placing that call to him to come down, wouldn't you be spending that time calling a goal machine like Oshimen to come down to Arsenal rather than an Alvarez who doesn't really have the same kind of goal threat that Oshimen actually has?
Both of them. Alvarez plays in a more competitive league than Victor Osimhen. That's the first thing. So we can, if we're going to use the idea that he's not scoring as much, it's a much more competitive league than Turkey. That's number one. Number two, I'm in no place to judge what this.
He scored more goals at Manchester City than in Spain.
Yes.
No. You talked about competitive. Yeah. I believe that the Premier League is very, very competitive.
So that tells you. Hold on. So that tells you something. So that tells you something. Then
Spain, you know what? He didn't even get up to this number.
You know what that tells you. That tells you that he was at Man City with Pep Guardiola, and the way the manager used him brought the best out of him. Maybe they're not bringing the best out of him there. So if we bring him back, we might be able to bring the best out of him. That simply tells you that he played at Man City. You've answered the very question. He played in the Premier League under a particular manager who happens to be probably the best manager in the last 10, 15 years. And that brought out the best out of him. And we saw Julian Alvarez, and everybody was like, yo, this guy in any other Premier League club, he will kill it. Because again, he knows the Premier League. Now he goes to another league where, when I said it's more competitive, I didn't even mention the Premier League. I was saying Galatasaray, Turkish league, and the Spanish league. The Spanish league is more competitive than the Turkish league. But having said that, you've just answered the question yourself. he scored more here in England. So what's to say he can't come back and do it again and reacclimatize? He's played in this league before. If you know how to use the player, you get the best out of him. We forget that he went and played under Diego Simeone, one of the most anti-football managers in the world, the person that Arteta learned from. So when you're playing in Atletico Madrid with Diego Simeone's style, you're not scoring that many. That club was known to score 1 or 2 goals and just lock up shop. So he did what was expected of him while he was there. So if he comes to a club like Arsenal, where we have a lot of the possession sometimes in games, and he knows the Premier League, and he's done it before in the Premier League, he's proved that he can do it in the Premier League. I don't see why. I would not go for that. And if you say a goal machine like Victor Osimhen, yes, he's a goal machine, but he's never played in the Premier League, which means he's now going to come down. And I'm going to now have another season where I have a striker.
Bro, we're not doing that. He's playing in the Serie A, my guy. He's playing in the Serie A, my guy.
Let me finish what I'm saying now.
Napoli win the league, man.
Let me finish what I'm saying, Tony. I didn't say he has not played in Europe. What I said, again, I'm talking about acclimatization. I don't care where you've played. My point is, I will then now have Victor Gyökeres, who just is about acclimatizing to the Premier League, then bring in Victor Osimhen, who is now also going to be acclimatizing. So for me, that's a risky thing to do.
What I'm saying is that Victor Osimhen, that's not even an issue. Acclimatizing is not even an issue with Victor Osimhen, because he has shown through his career that he can score goals in anywhere he goes, bro. He has scored.
And where has he gone?
He won the league.
Hold on. And where has he gone?
Galatasaray, shot it, bro, back to back.
Hold on. Where has he played in?
Down there in Turkey. What are we talking about, bro? There is no questions about him acclimatizing. If he's Dio, you like doing this thing.
When you're trying, listen. No. Here's
not the bad guy here.
No. I'm not saying about being bad guy. Again, listen to what you're saying to yourself. All I'm doing, I'm giving. Listen to what I'm saying, Tony. I am giving. I don't care what proving you are proving. I don't care about that. What I'm saying is, I'm giving the same energy I give to every player that comes from outside England. I say this about every single player. So why should I now change my tone because Victor Osimhen is proven? Proven where? In Galatasaray? Please, I beg you.
Because he has
listen.
Wherever he goes, goals follow.
Listen, you need to ask yourself. You need to ask yourself when he was leaving Napoli, why no top club in Europe wanted to touch him. You need to ask yourself why Galatasaray was the only club. Hold on. You need to ask yourself right now. Listen, you need to ask yourself right now.
Why are we doing like this, bro? That's because it's arrogance, bro. That's because it's arrogance.
What I'm saying is,
that's
I know, but listen,
apart from that, skill set for skill set, man is hungry. Man is a lion.
I am not talking about it. I have never said his skill set. What argument are you having here? I've never said Victor Osimhen is not a good goal scorer or a good footballer. I've never talked about that. I was talking about acclimatization. You're saying man is a goal scorer. I don't care. Listen.
No, but why are we talking about acclimatization when you know that man is a serial killer?
No, listen. Because Florian Wirtz, the Bundesliga Player of the Year, came into the Premier League and has struggled at Liverpool for a whole season. Because we've had players who have been good in other clubs come into the Premier League and struggle to hit the ground running, because it has happened many a time. Listen. Let me finish. Because we've had players come from multiple different leagues. The percentage of players that have come from outside, hit the ground running, is less than the ones who did not pick up. Maybe the first half season. Drogba, when he came to Chelsea, only scored 10 goals in his first season. People make it seem like, it was until the next season that he picked up. My point is, at a stage where you are the champion and you want to retain the trophy, you don't want the risk of having 3, 4, 5 games where your new striker is just figuring out the league. Yes, he will give you output, but those 4, 5 games could become defective for you in the long run, where you draw those games and those points could cost you at the end of the season. All I'm talking about is being efficient. If you want to bring Victor Osimhen in, maybe in January or whatever it is, yes, but make sure whoever you're bringing in now can hit the ground. Somebody who's done it before here, who understands the league, has been here, has lived in this country. Lived in England, done the do. So that the acclimatization is quicker for that person. Christian Solis has played for Norwich before. He played against Arsenal in the Premier League, if you don't remember, before he left. So this kid has played at the Emirates Stadium. So my point is, now that he's looking like he knows what he's doing, he's familiar with the environment.
He played in Belgium.
I know, but
He had good
no.
good seasons
I
at Belgium.
agree with
He
you,
didn't
but what
need
I'm
no
saying is,
acclimatization here.
I know,
That's when he hit the ground running.
because again, what I'm saying is he had already played in England before he went to Belgium. So coming back to England, it's not new to him. He knows he's been at the Emirates. He's played at the Emirates against Arsenal. So he's not in a new environment. He's not in a place where, he didn't know where the bathroom was when he came to the Emirates. He had played there before when he was at Norwich. Then he went to Belgium. Fair enough. I'm saying if you're going to ever bring in players to continue a trend for you, that is, you want to defend the Premier League, it has to be players who already know this league. Again, talented players from outside the league you can bring, but it's a risk value of 2, 3, 4, 5 games where they need to just get their foot together. And those 4, 5 games could cost you if you draw them or you lose them on the long run. That's all I'm saying.
I want to ask you this, Dio, because it seems like, you're a very tough guy. People, you might look at him, he wears glasses, but this guy's a very tough guy. Yeah, he's a tough guy. See, Victor Oshimen versus Victor Gyökeres. If Oshimen comes to this league and plays for Arsenal, do you think it shatters what Victor Gyökeres did in his first season with Arsenal?
It's for me, you have to come and prove it, because we haven't had a player score 20 plus goals in all competitions for Arsenal since Alexis Sanchez. That was the last player that did it for us. Aubameyang did not do it. Giroud did not do it.
With that proof, but
no, I'm saying I'm talking about the facts of what it is. Alexis Sanchez was the last player to score 20 plus goals in a season for Arsenal. It's the fact. I'm not dissing the club.
Okay.
So Victor Gyökeres doing that in his first season, that's like giving us 40% of what he did in Portugal. And for me, that's your first season. That's good enough. Can you do more this season? Fair enough. Do I think that Victor Osimhen is a better player than you? Yes. Do I think Victor Osimhen is a better goal scorer than you? Yes. But the point is, Victor Osimhen, you now have to come and prove it. He scored 50-something goals in Portugal. After he did 50-something goals, everybody said, he might not be able to do it in the Premier League. It's harder. But he came and did 20 plus. He came and he did 20 plus in the Premier League. That is harder. Victor Osimhen, you might be doing 30-something goals or 40 in Galatasaray. You now need to come and prove it, because we make it sound like, Osimhen is going to come and just boss the Premier League. He's not played against this type of defenders before. He's not played against, so we don't know that he's able to come in there.
He didn't play against this kind of defenders. When he
again, the Italian league, the Italian league is not the Premier League.
The Italian league, they defend brutally, my bro.
Listen, the Italian league is
Italian Serie A.
And I'll say this to you again. The season where he helped Napoli win the league, Kvaratskhelia was also there. Both of them did a lot of work. Yeah. I think we forget how important the network of teams that the forward line was for them. So again, so it wasn't like he carried the club on his shoulder by himself. That's the number one thing that I would. It's the same way. It's not like Gyökeres carried Arsenal on his shoulder by himself. People served him ball, provided for him, and I think for Gyökeres it was maybe 1 or 2 penalties in the 21 plus goals he scored. So the rest of them were open play, 2 headers. I think that the player that can give me 20 plus goals in all competitions in his first season, where I was expecting him to acclimatize, I think that's good enough. And then I see what you can do next season. Yeah. And if you want to bring in Osimhen, bring in Osimhen.
Yeah.
My question now is:
the assembled asks you a question here. He says, "What exactly will Alvarez bring to this group of players?" Exactly what I'm asking him. Exactly, like what would he bring that is different that any other player cannot bring? I want to bring in a player that is absolutely different from what I already have. Dio, answer the question. Over to you.
Whatever it is that Alvarez can bring to this team, to this group of players, this is a very I don't know how to put it with this question. There is a whole data backroom team at Arsenal that sit down and analyze player qualities, analyze the playing style of the club. They sit down with the manager and then they say, "Oh, look at this quality here is what we need. This quality here is what we need." If for nothing else, the profile of Alvarez, just that simple profile, he's unique. The thing that he does uniquely might be all we need him to come and do. Just the same way Gyökeres's unique selling point for us is he can put the ball in the back. He knows how to shoot. His first touch is horrible. He cannot run, but if you serve him on the platter, he will. And you need different types of profiles of players with their unique selling points to make your squad robust. You might play a certain team where Alvarez is the best type of player to play against them. Again, what does he bring? He brings experience. He brings the level of experience in the Champions League from his City days and from his Athletic days. He also brings an experience where he's played in 2 top leagues. You can't take that away from a player. He's played in the Premier League before, and he's gone to the Spanish league. You know, playing at one of at the highest level. So when you ask what the player brings, it's not just the technique on the ball. It's not just the positioning on the ball. There's a lot more that you bring into a team to take you to the next level. Arsenal already has a lot of good players and technical players. What needs to make us the next best thing is the mentality and the group of players. When you bring players who have won, who when they're talking, I've got champions, yeah, we can do. Let's make it 5. I'm going to try and get 4. Like they're pushing themselves. That's what we've gone beyond this whole. We're bringing the player that is even Zolis. Zolis has won something. Zolis carried the whole club on his back for 2 seasons and got them to win their 10th league. He's coming with the winner's mentality. This is why you buy some of these players. Yes, technically. If I ask you, does Arsenal have the best left winger in the world? No. But if I ask you, do we have the best right winger in the world? No, we don't. But at this stage where we're at, after you win something, that's what changes your team. People are just looking at what does he bring? His numbers are low. That's a very shallow way to look at it, to just say, his numbers are low. His numbers were high in Man City. His numbers were good in Man City. And this was him, 17 goals, playing as the backup striker.
To Haaland, that tells a lot, though. That
tells you what he can become. And then you go and play for Diego Simeone, who plays haram ball, who doesn't like to score more than 1 goal or 2 goals. It's true. Everybody's known this man for years.
Yeah.
So now if you play in that league, of course you score lesser goals because the manager wants to play a certain way. I'm not going to blame that on the player. The ability of the player to score plenty goals is still in him. He's just doing what he's been told to do. He hasn't lost that ability
to do.
So me bringing him back,
I completely believe what he said.
And that's all I'm saying. So yeah.
Shady says there is a reason clubs don't want to sign Oshimen, and that's true. But again, the only reason that I can only say is I feel he's a very arrogant player. Yeah, but again, so was Cristiano Ronaldo. He's an arrogant player, bro. Why is it that when a black player is arrogant and boastful of himself, then a white European is boastful about himself and thinks he's the world beater? It's so good. But the black player is arrogant and then, keep off. Come on, bro. We're not doing that. Yeah. I know he's a very arrogant player. He wants it to always be him, but it is what it is at this point. Yeah. It's either you want goals or you don't want goals at all. Yeah. It's either you want goals or you want a player to come to your football club and give you goals. So you have to deal with anything that comes, that comes with it. Yeah. There's no perfect solutions. Yeah. There's no perfect solutions. So it is what it is.
It's not so Tony, I'm going to play not even though I'm just going to say something here. Is if you're there's a difference between arrogance, you're arrogant, you're confident, and a behavior that can actually break down the team. Victor Osimhen played for Nigeria. Nigeria was playing Mozambique 4-0. We were leading 4-0, right? Ademola Lookman did not give him a pass. Missed a pass. He got upset. Got into it with Ademola Lookman. Got into a fight on the pitch with your own fellow player. Your captain, Ndidi, had to separate you. And then after separating you, he looks at the coach and says, sub me. And he walks out of the pitch. Is that the character you want? Forget your goals. My point is there's a difference between I'm proud, I'm arrogant, I'm scoring goals, I'm doing this, I'm telling people on the pitch, give me the ball. I want that. But when you take it off that game and you try and use it, just like when Kepa was told to not be a goalkeeper.
He's not going to be doing. He's not going to be doing.
No. But again, no. Listen, but
he's not going to be on fisticuffs with the player.
Tony, my point is this.
I don't think
but my point is, I will not assume you will not do it at Arteta because you've done it with many other managers. You did it at Napoli. You've done it at Galatasaray. You've done it with your national team, Nigeria.
Who was their manager? Who was their manager there?
It's not about who the manager. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying, it's not about manager. Here, what I'm saying, you have showed me a trend. You showed me a behavioral pattern. I don't care about who the manager is. Listen, I don't care. Listen, hear me out. I don't care. Listen, I don't care. Listen, here's what you are trying to do now. Here's what you're trying to do now. Here's what you're trying to do now. I am talking about a player, and
there's a certain kind of manager.
Hold on, I am. Listen now. Don't do that. Don't bring a manager into this yet. I'm talking about player pattern behavior. He has showed a pattern and a behavior already. For me, I don't care if there is a manager that can now reel you in. You're showing me a pattern, and once I see a pattern, I now understand that you could blow up one day. You could, yeah. You might come in and obey Arteta for now, but there could be something that will happen that will make you blow up because you have done it multiple places. You've done it to your nation. You've done it at every club you've been at, and I get it. Some of them were warranted, but if you show that pattern, it's hard for me. That's all I'm saying. And again, I will now not assume that you will not do it if you come to us now. I can't make that assumption because you've already done it before. You've done it before multiple times, so I can't make an assumption.
Again, I hear you. That's facts, though. I hear it, but I mean, if it's me, I'll cut the losses. I'll take. There's nothing perfect, bro. Yeah. There's nothing perfect.
We built. No, nobody's saying it's not, but we built.
And talk to him.
Listen, I would rather. Let me ask you a question.
Love.
Let me ask you a question.
Needs is love.
Let me ask you a question, Tony. Tony, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I want you. Can you answer this question?
No, bro. You are throwing away the emotional part of the whole thing. What Oshimen needs is he needs love at the end of the day. Yeah, I've looked at the teams he's played for, yeah, and it's either maybe the manager doesn't give him the credit he deserves, or it's either the players don't really want to
the country too. So the common factor
don't want to come through for him.
Listen to what you're saying, Tony.
Yeah, exactly.
You're being disingenuous.
So what he needs is just something kind of like, hey, putting a shoulder. I mean, just put your shoulder around him. Talk to him, I mean, hey, Victor, you're a great player. Bro, come on, man. But sometimes
I'm going to ask you two questions. I'm going to ask you two questions.
Bro, come on, man.
You're being disingenuous now.
We're talking as if these players are machines.
No.
They're
but
not machines. They're human beings. What are we doing?
You're being disingenuous here. So in 3 different places.
Okay.
Hold on, listen to this. In 3 different places, the same thing has happened, and the common factor was you, Victor. In 3 different places, I get what you're saying about everybody wants to be loved. Fair enough, but let's not ignore the fact that you are the common factor in the same issues in 3 different places. That's number 1. Number 2, Victor Osimhen, if he comes to Arsenal, will probably give me 25 GA in a season, right? If I have a player that's giving me 20 GA, I'm coming. Just hear me out. He'll probably give me 25 G in his first season.
The kind of crosses that we get into the box.
Listen now.
Kicks. This guy is 6 foot plus, bro.
Listen now.
30, bro. 30 GA.
Listen.
Bro.
Okay, fine. 30 GA.
I swear to you. Bro.
Okay, listen. I would take a player with 22 GA or 24 GA with good attitude over Osimhen of 30 GA, which is just 8 extra GA and a bad attitude. That's what I'm saying. I will take a 21 plus. Yes, I would, because I'm going to say this again. Man City, right, scored 7 more goals than us last season, and we still won the league.
What you're trying to say is that people can't change, and I have a problem.
I'm not saying they can't. No, I'm not saying that he can't change. What I'm saying, I'm not saying he can't change.
No, but you said that he has proven.
I said he
several places. Yeah,
I said he showed a pattern.
Kind of character.
He showed a pattern.
It's proven.
And for me,
but again, the concessions could be made.
Until I see, listen, until I see, you have to listen. Oh my God, I know.
That's why we're not gods. That's why. Anyway,
I'm not going to do this.
But we're not, the omnipotent or whatever. Yeah, people could change. You could put your arm around, and again, that's it. Again, that's even the job of the manager, bro. And personally,
it's your job to bring in the.
I think that he can't even do that in an Arteta team. Because Arteta is so crazy with the team. Yeah.
Tony.
No, it's true. Okay, it's true. You that shows you that always say that you always want to propel Arteta as this guy, yeah. So suddenly now you want to totally discharge from
That's not the
Arteta and
point.
what he
This,
can bring to the
no,
team
that's not the
in
point. The
terms of
point
helping
is,
a
listen,
player
listen,
with his
listen
behavioral problems.
again,
Okay, good, no
again.
problem.
My
You don't
point is,
believe in the manager,
I know
that
how
the
you want.
manager
I
can
know how
help a
you want.
player
I know how you want
to,
to spin. I
to
know how you want
change
to
his
listen.
behavioral problems.
I
Okay,
know how
good.
you want. I know how you want to spin this, but I'm going to say it again. Victor Osimhen is not going to come and give me Haaland goals. If Victor Osimhen was going to give me Haaland goals
Say so,
let
bro.
me finish. Let
Who
me
said
finish.
so, bro?
Let me
He
finish.
can.
Yeah,
It's possible.
Victor, it's not about possible. In his career, he has never brought up those type of numbers. He's not done
What are you
Haaland
talking
numbers in
about?
his career. He's never done Haaland numbers. 35.
Bro, Haaland did not do Man City Haaland numbers in Dortmund.
Haaland did Osimhen numbers in Dortmund.
He came here, he improved on that.
Haaland did Haaland did Osimhen numbers
Goal
in
scoring
Dortmund.
has never been a problem for
I'm
Osimhen.
saying Haaland again. Haaland was scoring the same number of goals as Victor Osimhen when he was in Dortmund, and then Haaland comes to City. Hold on.
No. He was a frequent scorer, but he wasn't as bad as he was here in England than he was in Dortmund. He got good numbers in Dortmund. Don't get me wrong. I did not say he didn't get good numbers, but not Man City numbers, though.
I'm not saying he got Man City numbers. I never said that. I never said you. You see, this is what you do.
Bro, come on,
Tony. Stop.
What you said is that it's the same or something like that. It wasn't
I
the
said,
same.
I said
he
Haaland
came down here and completely blew up.
Listen, what was Haaland's average G and A in Dortmund?
Bro, you have
what was his average? I'm coming now. What was his average G and A?
No, bro, tell the people, bro. I'm not with the numbers there, bro. He's not an Arsenal player. I don't have the stats for that.
Erling Haaland in Dortmund. I'm going to pull it up because sorry, it's not like I'm saying something that's crazy.
No, pull it up, bro.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
He wasn't a monster in Dortmund.
I didn't say he was a monster in Dortmund. I didn't say he was a monster. I did not say he was a monster.
Bro,
again, Tony, stop.
He did not pull up Man City numbers at Dortmund. That's what I'm saying.
I never said he did that. What I said,
he came down to England to Man City and
listen, and clearly you are intentionally choosing to not listen to what I'm saying. I never said he did Man City numbers in Dortmund. What I said is he was doing similar goals and assists, just like Osimhen's numbers while he was in Dortmund.
Okay.
That's what I said. I said him and Osimhen.
You just spin everything and you put similar. But it's all good. It's
all
good.
With
English language, you can just, you can just switch things. But it's all good.
No, it's not all good. I don't do if buts and maybe.
You just want to discredit Victor Osimhen and what he has done.
I am not discrediting Victor Osimhen. What I'm saying is,
he has a character problem. I agree to. I concur with you. He's arrogant. He has a very bad character. I completely get that. But don't take away his skill set. Don't take away what he has done.
Nobody ever talked about his skill set. I never mentioned it. You are a disingenuous person. Listen.
He's won the Turkish league, bro. He's won the Italian Serie A. He's a Serie A winner. And he has goals to show for that, bro. Imagine all those corner kicks that are coming in, bro. All the whole crosses from shoulders. So
let's now look at again. I'm going to stay on course here. I'm not going to let you come and dissuade. I never said Osimhen is a bad player. I never said he doesn't have the skill set. I never talked about the skill set. You brought that up, and that's on you. Erling Haaland scored 62 goals and 19 assists in 67 appearances for Dortmund. So Haaland was putting up mad numbers.
Come again.
62 goals and 19 assists in 67 appearances. UEFA Champions League, he had 15 goals and 2 assists for Dortmund in 13 appearances. In the DFB Poker German Cup, he had 8 goals and 1 assist in 7 appearances. Erling Haaland was putting up mad numbers at Dortmund. What I'm saying is Victor Osimhen was also putting up mad numbers at Napoli. When Haaland came to City, his numbers literally went higher. Osimhen has never put up the type of numbers. Let me finish. I said Osimhen has never put up the type of numbers that Haaland is putting up in City.
Bro, would you even compare the numbers? Again, would you even compare the numbers that
let me pull up Victor Osimhen's numbers
getting in Dortmund and compare it to the numbers that Osimhen was getting in Napoli, mostly when you're actually comparing both leagues together, bro? Some people still consider the German Bundesliga to be a bomb league. Come on, man. What are we doing here? Really? Some people still consider the German Bundesliga to be a bomb league. That's the league that Bayern Munich have been winning how many years straight now, bro? Come on, man. What are we doing? I think Dio froze. I mean, Dio froze, but it is what it is, people.
What I said again is very, very clear. I did not. In fact, somebody in the chat has said it. I am saying Victor Osimhen could only put up the same numbers that Haaland was putting up at Dortmund. Haaland is now putting up more numbers. So I said, if I'm going to pay for a player to come to my club who has an attitude issue that we both agreed he has an attitude issue, you better be putting up the Haaland type of numbers of City. That way, if you are going to be,
and how can he do it when he's not in the league? But that's my point.
You know why he cannot do it?
When he's not
you know why he cannot do it? He has not showed that he can do it yet. You know why? Haaland showed it in Dortmund. Haaland showed it in Dortmund.
That's what I told you. You cannot compare the German Bundesliga to someone who helped Napoli that is not even tagged in the top 4, in the traditional top 4 of the Italian Serie A, to actually win. Bro, come on, man. What are we doing? You cannot compare. You can't compare the Italian Serie A and the German Bundesliga. What are we doing here, bro? If Oshimen was in the German Bundesliga, bro, man would. What are we talking here, bro? Harry Kane left.
What are you saying? What are we doing?
Harry Kane left here, bro. If Oshimen was in Germany, he's gonna shatter the ceiling. He's gonna paint it.
He's not shattering. He's not shattering the ceiling in Galatasaray.
Bro, Harry Kane is having fun. Harry Kane is having fun in Germany, bro. I mean, it's no problem. If you're a good striker and you know your audience, you will go to Germany and you will dominate the space. This is facts, bro.
This is hilarious.
Osimhen, if he goes to Germany, Osimhen is gonna he's gonna put their defenders on a chokehold. He's gonna paint it red. That's what it's gonna do. So let's don't do all these shenanigans. Any striker that knows what he's doing will go to the German Bundesliga and score goals. Harry Kane have showed it.
Which league is harder? Tony, calm down. Breathe. Stop talking. Breathe. Which league is harder, Bundesliga or the Turkish league or the Superliga?
Oh,
I'm just asking. No. Answer the question. Answer the question now. Can you answer? I'm going somewhere with this. Can you answer the? You see, this is why I can't have a conversation with you. Can you answer the question?
He has done it in the Italian Serie A. You're not even talking of that. Why are you bringing Turkish league for what?
Can you listen to what I'm saying first? Answer the question because I'm going somewhere with it. I hate this thing that you do. It's annoying. Answer the question. I simply said which is the harder league, the German league. Osimhen is putting up crazy numbers in Galatasaray right now. Listen to what I'm saying. Hear me on and understand. His crazy numbers in Galatasaray are even higher than what somebody in the German league is putting up because he's scoring 30 goals and 30 matches. He's scoring 26 goals, 4 assists. Already last season, he did 15 goals and 5 assists in 22 appearances. That means he had a goal and assist in 20 games. That means in every game, in about 75 minutes, Osimhen was scoring. Those are mad stats. I agree. When you move from this kind of a weaker league, the Superliga, to a more difficult league, you cannot double your numbers. Usually, your number halves in your first season because you are getting accustomed to it, is what I'm saying. So again, eventually what Harry Kane did was he left a tougher league and went to an easier league. Hence why Harry Kane was able to score more goals in the German league. We both agree the Premier League is harder than the Bundesliga. So my point stands that if Victor Osimhen leaves a weaker league, even though he's scoring mad numbers, he's not coming to the Premier League to score that type of numbers immediately. He's going to a more difficult league. The difference would have been if Victor Osimhen was scoring this type of numbers in the Premier League. If he leaves and goes to like the Bundesliga, he will kill it there. That's all. That's the difference. Harry Kane left the harder league to a less weaker league and the best team in that weak league. Bro, you can imagine Michael Olise left Crystal Palace. Michael Olise left Crystal Palace.
Striker goes to Germany, you are going to break records in Germany. What are you talking about?
I agree with you when you are talking.
Bro, you cannot talk me out of knowing this, bro.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, why are you talking now, bro? What are you saying?
You've chosen to listen and not to listen, not to understand now.
Bro, Bundesliga out of the water.
I am not talking about the German Bundesliga. You've changed the topic again. You've changed the topic again. I'm not talking about German Bundesliga. I don't care about the German Bundesliga. What I'm talking about is Victor Osimhen. Stay on topic. Stay on topic. Stop this thing that you keep doing. Nobody. I don't care about. I don't care. Listen. I simply said that. I simply said
was putting up all these numbers.
I simply said.
And I'm telling you that any half decent striker that knows his onions would tear it up.
Again. I don't care. Listen, I don't care about the. Listen, I don't care about the German league.
He gave good numbers. Good. That's what it stops.
Oh my God! See, I don't care about the German league. What I have said, what I have said is simple. You had Erling Haaland playing in the German league. I agree. Any striker will go and win in the German league. Any striker will score. Fair enough. But Erling Haaland left the German league, came to the Premier League, and increased his goal scoring tally. That's the type of striker that you have to be if I'm going to take you with an attitude, is what I'm saying. Victor Osimhen is putting up crazy numbers in Galatasaray for what he plays. 22 games with 15 goals and 5 assists, 30 games with 26 goals and 4 assists. That's 30 GA. 30 GA in 30 games. That's amazing. A goal a game or per se. My point is, if he goes to Germany, he'll probably score 35 GA plus 11 assists. He'll do more because it's the German league. But if he comes to the Premier League,
he will do Hurricane numbers. Easy.
He'll do with Hurricane numbers. Hold on. Hurricane was what numbers were Hurricane doing? What was Hurricane's numbers in the Premier League? What was the Hurricane? Hurricane had lower numbers in the Premier League as compared to Germany.
Averaging
20. That's all he was doing.
That's what I'm saying now.
Yeah, so but Gyökeres averaged 20 across all competitions, just like Hurricane. So what are we doing here? My point is, when you come and you're giving me the 20 plus, and again in Galatasaray, he's doing. Listen to this. In Galatasaray, this last season, he did 15 goals and 5 assists. He did 20 GA. Osimhen did 20 GA last season. Even if you're going to come and give me 20 GA like Gyökeres, I would rather have Gyökeres with no attitude than have you with 20 GA and an attitude, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If I'm going to take you with your attitude, you must be doing Haaland numbers. Come and give me 35, 40 GA. Then your attitude, we'll find out to manage it.
Okay.
But if you are giving me,
you did a slick thing there. The GA you just talked about for Victor Osimhen. Did you add the Turkish Super Cup?
Yes, I did. Okay, so look at it. Listen. Yeah,
you did not add it, but you added Gyökeres 020.
Okay, hold on. Okay, then I'll do it. Okay, then I'll do it. Then I'll do it this way. Listen. I'll do it this way. I will do it this way. Listen, I will do it this way. I will do it this way. Osimhen scored 15 goals for Galatasaray. 15 goals. How many did Gyökeres score for us now? 14. Osimhen scored 1 goal more. Forget their assist, just their goals as strikers. I want to compare striker goal. Osimhen scored 1 goal more than Victor Gyökeres last season. I would rather take Victor Gyökeres with a good character and 14 goals than Osimhen with 15 goals and a bad character, is what I'm saying. So forget, if you don't want me to use all competitions, let's just use their goals as their striker. He scored 1 goal more. What are we doing here? What kind of conversation are we having? As regards to, the only reason why I would take Osimhen has to be giving me 30 goals. With that character, you have to give me 30 GA. In fact, forget the A. 30 G. Then whatever you want to give me an assist, I'll take. And that's all I'm saying.
Who was the last person?
So what are we doing here?
30 G in the Premier League?
Well, if you're that arrogant, then you've got to be able to back it up. That's my point. Haaland is arrogant. Stay humble, and he's backing it up.
Bro, what did Oshimen do to you, though?
He didn't do anything to me. You're being unrealistic.
He's also a Nigerian too, my guy, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know what Oshimen has done to. I don't know what he has done to Dio. Dio has a bone to pick with this guy, but it is what it is. But unlike me, I don't have a bone to pick with him. What I'm saying is his numbers. His numbers are not. Concession. Yeah,
his numbers are not as amazing as you.
Yeah,
his numbers are not as amazing as you make it sound. You make it sound like he's giving some killing numbers. He scored 15 goals last season. Gyökeres scored 14 goals in a harder league. Gyökeres scored 14 goals in the Premier League. Osimhen in the Turkish league scored 15 goals. Turkish league. I'm not talking about German league. I'm not talking about the Italian league. In fact, he did better in the Italian league than he's doing in the German in the Turkish league. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Why are we having this conversation? If Osimhen was giving me 51 GA just like this now, yeah, you know what? Bring him with his attitude. But you're giving me 15 goals in the this thing in the Super League. 15 goals, and your credit is giving me 14 in the harder league in the Premier League, and you're telling me that if I'm going to replace guy, if it's about output and efficiency, you've not shown enough for me to trust you to come and give me the 30 G I need. Because if you're an arrogant player and you have the attitude, you got to put up the numbers. You got to put up the numbers. You can't be scoring the same number of goals that Gyökeres is scoring. You can't be scoring the same number of goals that Gyökeres is scoring, and then tell me that
okay, Dayo, you've won. Hey God, hey Jesus Christ.
It's not about winning. It's facts.
Won.
It's facts.
Hey God, you are very lucky that I have a flu. You are very lucky I have a flu.
I'm drinking mineral water.
Drag this thing.
I'm drinking mineral water because I'm also recovering.
You know what? You know what, Dayo, you won, but no problem. Yeah, we'll come back next week. I no go grief for this guy in Nigerian tongue. Dayo. So, our next game is against Coventry in the Premier League. What do you want to see in that game? And what I mean by what do you want to see in that game, in a short, because we're going soon. What's the first 11 you want to see? This is what I want to ask you. What is the first 11 you want to see? The structure. How do you want to see us turn out against Coventry? And again, you could also talk about the playing style. After what happened against Man City, it looks like Mikel Arteta turned it up a notch. You know, I saw attacking flair, I saw defending, I saw balance of everything. Yeah, attacking play, defensive play, holding on to the ball. There was that balance in everything. But in our attacking, we did it quite well. Scored lots of goals and defended properly. So how do you want to see us set up against Coventry in terms of the players, the framework, and our manner of attacking in that game?
And if we talk about the way we should play how we played against City. Just play good football. Attack when you need to attack, defend when you need to defend, control the game when you're off the ball, dictate the pace of play. Just do what you need to do at the right time. That's the most important thing. If you're talking about who I want to see, we have such a deep squad and such a talented squad that for me, it's more important for the manager to really study this team because we don't know them like that and we don't know how they play. And that would determine who are the key players I'm going to field. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the stream, if I were the manager, I don't see this as a first 11 team. No. Anybody can get into my first 11 depending on who we're playing and because of your skill set. So, for example, if we have a team that's playing crazy low block, and because they just don't want to come out and we need to break them down, then I'll figure out who on my squad is the best use of a low block. And those are people that I'll play. If it's a team that wants to play out, then I'll pick the players who, you know what, can really adapt to defending in the 4-4-2 and breaking out really quickly. And that's the way I'll set up. But when it comes to like the system of play, we should just play how we played against Man City. Off the ball, we were so good off the ball. No space. Every channel was blocked. And then when we got on the ball, we moved the ball quicker. And I tell people, I said, Odegaard looked good in that game, not because
defended collectively.
Odegaard looked very good in that game. Why? Because for the first time in a long time, he now has two quality, just like when we had Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka playing behind him in the 22-23 season. And that's when we saw the best of Odegaard. Now you have a Bruno and a Declan or a Bruno and a Miles and a Zubimendi. Like he now has quality, well-rested legs behind him. And he can float. Now, he doesn't have to drop in between the center backs to receive the ball to create the first wave of play and then still try to crash.
He doesn't have to come back and do all that tracking back he's doing. And exactly.
He can press, stay up front, and try to win the game. I don't know.
Your first 11 for the game.
I would do a Raya, and then I'll do Ben White, I'll do Mosquera, I'll do Gabriel. And I'll do Calafiori, and then in front of them I'll do Declan Rice and Bruno Guimaraes. I want to see how
Calafiori. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do Declan Rice and Bruno Guimaraes. I'll tell you why I'll do Calafiori.
So what are you gonna do to MLS?
MLS will rest out on this game. I'll let him rest out. He played very well in the first game, but I'll let him rest out on this first game. I want to see how Bruno and Rice pair together. And then in front of them, I'll do Eze. I'll let Odegaard rest out this game too. I'm going to manage minutes of my players like how PSG does it, where Dembele only plays 17 games a season, so that in the Champions League he's fresh. And Doué plays only 16 games. That's what I'm going to do this season. I'm going to play my players in such a way that their legs don't run out. Yeah, so that when we go to Champions League, Kelly's already he's pumping to be able to play. I'm not that he has played 7 games before and all his legs are tired. I'll play Eze in front of him instead of Odegaard. I'll rest Odegaard. And this is the reason I'm playing Calafiori is because Calafiori and Solis, there's something that I saw against City. I want to see if it still works there. I think Calafiori has Solis has unlocked that left side with Calafiori, the way they were overlapping and underlapping. And even when Nkapie came in as well, same thing. So up front, I'll play Solis on the left. Down the middle, because I don't know these guys. These guys are a championship team that have just come to the Premier League. I'm going to play Victor Gyökeres because he's played in the championship. He's strong and he knows how to do that nonsense with them. Let them go and fight themselves there. And on the right,
actually played with them before. Actually,
it's his former club. That's what I'm saying. He's played there. He understands so that's I'm putting him up there first. If he doesn't give me a goal, I'll bring in Kai Havertz. But then on the right, I'll start Bukayo Saka for the first half, and I'll rest him for the second half. I'm going to play my players this season like as though they are all egg. Saka will play 45 minutes, go and rest. I'll bring in Noni. Next game, I will bring in Noni first, and I'll bring Saka in. Yes, everybody this season is like.
That's I'm going to play Mikel Arteta. Egg. I mean, I'm seeing similarities. Egg, light bulbs, people. Big ups to Dio, man. Big ups to eggs, light bulbs.
No, look, you don't want them to again. Let me say this to you. Do you know it is last season Arsenal had 5 players that played over 5,000 minutes. Do you know in Man City they only had 1 player that played over 5,000 minutes? Haaland. Bukayo Saka with his injuries last year played 3,500 minutes with his injuries even though he was out many times. That's way too much. Way too much. It's not the matter of look. Odegaard has always created chances. Odegaard will create chances.
Look at the assembly. The assembly says that
is Odegaard now going to create chances?
You out now. He's setting you up for the. He's setting you up for the future dragging.
This is again.
He's setting you up. Be very careful with this one. So Odegaard is now going to provide chances for Gyökeres now. Answer.
Odegaard's job is not to provide chances for Gyökeres. I don't know why you guys are so disingenuous about this. Odegaard's job is to create chances, yes, but it is not to lay the last ball for you to then take a shot. Those coming from the sides, that's where we have more crossing in from Saka or from Solis or anybody. Odegaard creates chances again sometimes by dragging defenders.
Look at how you are dribbling this guy.
I'm not dribbling somebody.
He asked you a clear question. Why are you dribbling me?
What was the first thing that I said? Tony, what was
Dio, look at what he even said your name. He said, Dio. Let me read it for you again so you understand. Dio. So Odegaard is now going to provide chances for Gyökeres. That's what he asked. I don't want to hear from the side. Is he going to provide chances for Gyökeres? Yes or no?
Tony, if you went to school, you read English very well. He didn't put a question mark at the end. He's making a definitive statement. He is saying that Odegaard is now going to provide chances for Gyökeres. There's no question mark here. There's no question mark.
Are you asking a question?
If it's a question, ask me the question. And I answered the question. I said, no, it is not Odegaard's job to provide chances.
He mentioned your name, and that's a question. That was an error.
Mentioning my name does not make it a question, though. I can mention your name and make a definitive statement. Tony, Odegaard is going to play very well this season. Is that a question? No, I'm making a definitive statement. Just because I mentioned your name doesn't make it a question.
Guys,
and if you want it to be a question, if you want it to be a question, if you want it to be a question, I'm not being tricky here. Stop this. Don't use words. If you want me, Tony, if you want me to answer it as a question, if you want me to answer it as a question, I simply answered the question. I said no, it is not Odegaard's responsibility. The first thing I said was it is not. No, hold on. The first thing I said was it is not Odegaard's responsibility to create chances for Gyökeres. I believe the chances should come from the wings because of the type of striker that he is. But it is Odegaard's job to create space for Gyökeres by dragging defenders away with his nimble touches, finding those passes that they can then down lay back to Gyökeres. That's what I think Odegaard's job is going to be with Gyökeres. Playing in that 10 is creating the chance, freeing up someone like Saka who can cross the box, because Gyökeres is a box 9. If Odegaard is going to have to create chances for him, Gyökeres will have to be more mobile. A Kai Havertz who likes to move around is somebody that Odegaard will create more chances for. That's my take on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's your take on that, right? Yeah, and of course, the assembly says, yeah, I understand your angle. I mean, it's what it is, isn't it? People have come to the end of the show. People, Dio won today. He always wins, but people, don't worry. Don't worry. It's okay.
There's no winner here.
It's okay. It's good. It's my brother. Let him push. Don't worry. Keep winning. See, people,
there's no winner here. There's no winner here. Me, I just like to state things as they are.
Dio asked me for proof live on the channel, people. Proof.
Yes, no.
People, where did they ask for proof? In football news. People, football news. Everyone knows that this is, I mean, come on, man. Anyone can write anything on any paper, bro. Come on.
Hence why I don't believe them.
That is asking me for proof. That should prove. Come on, man. How?
Sorry, hold on.
That even the athletics proof is real proof. Come on, bro.
So,
and the master said that Vinicius Junior has already agreed personal terms. How do we know that is even true?
But that's my point. Which I know, but Tony, which is why I go and check. No, listen, which is why I go and check. I check. I always check. I'll give you a good example. I heard that Arsenal wanted to swap Victor Gyökeres, right, for Julian Alvarez and 50 million euros. That was out there in the ethers, right? Remember on Twitter, it was out there for a while.
Yeah.
And I went and I googled the main source, the first people to report it, and the first source to report it was a Spanish source out of Madrid, and those guys do satire.
Yeah.
They do satire, like they've been doing satire for over 25 years. They make fun of the transfer window and make up stuff and post it out there. And people took it and ran with it. This is what I mean by proof. Like, it's simple to just Google who was the first person that said this thing. Where did this start from? Oh, these were the people. Oh, these people are satirical people. Don't carry their news out there. And that's all. And that's why I never believed it. That's why I never talked about it. That's why I never commented on it. But I saw people making content. Oh, they might be able to take Julian Alvarez and give your credit. And eventually, if that does happen, fair enough. They predicted something that was going to happen. But they're satirical people. And so I'm not going to take them seriously on the first face value. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's what I mean by proof. If you just tell me, oh, I read it in the Athletic, this is what they said, this is the article, fair enough. Now, whether the Athletic is right or wrong, you showed me the source where you got it from. But when we specify things by what we say, like if we say, oh, like the manager doesn't trust the player, where did we get that from? Like that just generates unwanted.
Don't worry. Daniel will come to judgment.
No worries, we hear you.
Don't worry. There'll be time I will need proof. You will bring that proof. Don't worry. People, an exciting show, yeah. Back and forth. That's what me and Dio is all about. Back and
here
forth.
So here we go. Now this is hold on. This is a Tony, quickly. So this is a question now with the question mark. So common sense is an issue now. Yes. Now let me answer this question. Yes, common sense is an issue. It is an issue because we make assumptions a lot of times. I'm not saying it's an issue for you. I'm not saying the assembled. I'm not saying you have an issue. I'm saying common sense in general is an issue for a lot of people. People make assumptions. The minute they hear something, as long as it feels right with what they already feel towards the club, right? They run with it. Even when I hear something good about Arsenal and it's positive, I still go and check to be sure that, oh, you know what? It's not just me raising my expectations anyhow, right? And it's just a good trait to go and double check. But most people don't. They hear something, they see something, and then they just run with it. And then when you call them out on it and show them that it doesn't exist that way, it seems like you're beating them down the head with a baseball bat. Like you're just you want to just be the guy that's right. And it's not about being right. My thing is, it's facts. A fact is a fact. Martinelli was our highest goal scorer in the Champions League last season. Fact. Is Martinelli good enough to play in the Premier League? Yes. Did he score enough goals? No. But people will say this. They say Martinelli had 5 GA last season in the Premier League, 1 goal, 4 assists, right? You know what they don't tell you about Martinelli? They don't tell you that he played only 11 games last season in the Premier League. 11. And he had 5 GA, which means he had a goal or assist in every other game as a winger. That's not a bad return on a winger who played 11 games. Do you see the difference?
I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Well, it is
All
what
right.
it is. But
East in the Middle East.
But Dio, you know, but Dio, you know he has to go. You know he. You know
I'm not saying he doesn't have to go. Listen, I'm not. I agree he has to go. Listen, I am not saying he doesn't. Oh, listen, I'm not, Tony. I did not say he doesn't have to go. What I'm saying is, when people are talking about him, they paint it in such a bad way, right? They paint it in such a horrible way, as though he only had 5 GA and he played 30 games. They don't put the whole context. Put the whole context is what I'm saying. I want him to go. He has to go. Fair enough. But I will not do him dirty by just painting his name wrongly. I'll put out the right information. He played 11 games, had 5 GA. In the Champions League, he had the most goals scored for us. He scored in every game in the league phase. So what are we doing here? Let's call it as it is. Even though I want a player to leave, does that mean I have to make him look like he's worse than what he really is? His output for what he did last season was just fair. And maybe that's why he has to go. We need perfect or near perfect, you know?
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's crazy that these friends of ours are coming when the show is almost ended.
Hold on. No, see, let me respond to this guy's on here. He says, "What did I tell you about Martinelli? You guys gas up average players like him." Again, you see, this is statements like this that I try to debunk all the time. You call him average, fair enough, but you then have to put context to what he did. In 11 games, 5 GA. Fair enough for that's an average winger, right? And there was no gassing him up. This has always been the Martinelli standard. In the Champions League, he scored multiple goals. He scored 7 goals and I think maybe 3 assists, something. Right? In total, he had like a 15 GA in all competitions as a winger. What did you tell me that I did not say then? I've always said Martinelli is a 15 GA winger. His most he has scored for Arsenal is even 15 GA in his first good season. He's never been a double-digit 20 plus.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
No, that's
he hasn't replicated those numbers. So what I'm saying is, listen,
again, but that's what I'm saying. For me, he's always been that 15 GA, 17 GA in all competitions type of winger. We need a winger that can give us a bit more than that because it's fine margins. So for me, it's not like he's bad. It's just we need someone that can give us a 22 GA season on the left, because Saka is still giving you a 20 plus G on the right. You need somebody that can do the same on the left. Martinelli has always been a 15 G, and that's what I've always praised him as. So this idea that you told me, you didn't tell me nothing. You didn't tell me nothing. Yeah.
Tommy, see, you want to catch Dio.
Tommy is going to collect stray bullets.
Don't
they've come here with this Oshimen nonsense. Oshimen that scored only 15 goals
in Galatasaray last season. He says we can't sell Martinelli now until we get another winger or attacker. I mean, I hear that, and we need to get that attacker as soon as possible. Tommy says it doesn't matter. It's not good enough.
Oh yes, now it doesn't matter. Exactly. Once you prove it to them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We've all said he was not good enough. We need to get somebody better. The point was,
I told you, surely it's clear of Martinelli and Trossard. That's what Tommy said. 2 weeks
you didn't know who Solis was until you didn't know who Solis was. Hold on, you didn't know who Solis was until last week. Stop lying. Don't come out here and say you told anybody that Solis was. You've never made that statement anywhere. Not even on your Twitter feed. If I scroll through now and do a search, you probably made it sometime last week, and if we check the date, you made it just this August. So you didn't know who Solis was last season. You did not know who he was in the summer. You did not know who he was in the spring, in the winter, or in the fall. Don't come here and be hiding behind me. I told you it's clear. The person that gave you data is the problem.
So it gives us more. Get me Lau. No, I don't want Lau. No, I don't want him, bro. And Oshimen, yes. I'm done with Gyökeres. He's dog shit. Get rid. I mean, it is what it is. But me, I want Oshimen.
Yes.
If
I want
is leaving,
you know the funny thing, yeah.
Bro. But I think Oshimen gives us more as a striker. After personally, that's what I think. Because I saw Gyökeres in spells in this preseason, and I was like, God, if we're going to roll with this striker, bro, yeah, to the end of the season, bro, it's gonna be a long road. I don't doubt him scoring 20 goals, 19 goals throughout the season. It will come eventually, but I don't want eventually come. I want start firing now. There's no with, bro. Oshimen will do that for us. So why are we dancing about the bush?
Yeah, right. I already debunked and proved the Osimhen thing. Striker for striker, goal for goal. Last season, Osimhen played in Galatasaray in the Turkish league and scored only 15 goals. Gyökeres played in the Premier League and scored 14 goals. Yes, Victor Osimhen is a better footballer than Gyökeres, but if you're playing in a weaker league and you cannot score more than this same Victor Gyökeres, I am sorry. Gyökeres played in a harder league. He's a worse striker than Victor Osimhen. Hear me. Gyökeres is a worse striker than Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen is miles better than Gyökeres, but yet Gyökeres was able to put up 14 goals in the Premier League, and Osimhen, who is miles better than Gyökeres, could only put up 15 goals in the Turkish league. Make that make sense to me. Make this sentimental attachment that because he's Nigerian and I'm Nigerian, I've got to be like, oh, Osimhen. If your numbers don't match, they don't match. You scored one more goal than a striker that you are way better than. On a scale of 1 to 10, Victor Osimhen should be a 9 striker, 9 out of 10. Gyökeres is a 6 or even a 5 out of 10. But Gyökeres is scoring 14 goals in the hardest league, the Premier League, and you in a crap league like the Turkish league can't score up to 20. I'm sorry. Those numbers don't match. They don't match at all. And if it doesn't match, I can't trust you.
People, tough talk from our brother Dio. I mean, him and Thomasy are getting at it in the charts. And of course, Thomasy says Gyökeres can't even hold up the ball. Link up play. The ball bounces off him and he's touching the ball. And people, Gyökeres is always on the ground. That is one, bro, that's even the worst. He's always on the ground. No, I want my striker always up. But again, it is what it is.
Tony, quick one. Tony, listen to this. Tony, listen to this. Listen. Let me respond to this real quick. Everything you said here is true about Gyökeres. But yet, Gyökeres' output was 14 goals last season in the Premier League. And Osimhen, who is miles better than him in the Turkish league, was only 15 goals, 1 goal better. So make it make sense to me, right? That you want to diss this guy and get rid of him. And I agree. All of this is true about him. And bring the guy who scored 1 more goal than him in a weaker league to come to the same tougher league. Please. All this shallow, oh, he's a fraud, get rid of him. All of these conversations are just shallow conversations. You don't look at the data, you don't look at the numbers, you don't look at anything. You just go by sentiments and feelings. Oh, Osimhen is better because he's a Nigerian striker and I'm a Nigerian. Yes, I like Osimhen. Osimhen is better. I agree he is better. But the point is, what is his output? What is his output? You wanted us to go by goals only, we went by goals only. When was the last time Victor Osimhen did a 20 GA season? Last season, he did 20 G and A, 15 goals only and 5 assists, which was the more recent one. Since he left Napoli, let's be honest about it. I'm not saying he's not a better striker than Gyökeres, but at the end of the day, for me, it's about efficiency and output. I don't care how Arsenal looks this season. I care if we get 3 points in every game.
People, you've heard, yeah? And of course, when the assembled agrees with you, I mean, there's something you're doing right. Yeah, when the assembled comes out with its full chest,
I appreciate you, bro.
Says with you, Dio. When the assembled comes out and says, "Yep, I agree with you, Dio," I mean that means something because you guys know the assembled.
Because I have to make it make sense. Tony, I got to make it make sense.
You're as good at saying something. Yeah, sure. Big up to you as Goonies, yeah. Big ups, my guy. Please always make sure you're always on the show, on the channel. We need people like you on this channel, my bro. Yeah, big ups to you. And it says Gyökeres needs service. Give him 5 real chances and let him miss them in a single game before calling him trash. If he only gets 2 chances all game and misses, that proves nothing. I mean, it is what it is. You see, people, yeah, my channel is a channel of opinions. Everyone, I welcome Tommy C. Osabi's opinion, yeah, US Gunners' opinion, the Assembled's opinion. Everyone has a say, and that's what really matters. Of course, Tommy C doubles down and says, Oshimen helped Napoli win the league title, yeah? Gyökeres didn't help us win the league title. It was Saliba, Gabriel, Mosquera, Rice, White, Timber helped us win the league. I mean, it doubles down on
again, doubling down.
That's exactly
Hold
what
on,
it is.
Tony. Listen, doubling down for doubling down's sake is just amazing. Take away Gyökeres' 14 goals from Arsenal last season. We only scored 53 goals all season. We scored 67 goals. People, I hope you remember this. Take away his 14 goals, we only scored 53 goals. We don't win the league with 53 goals. You know what that means? He helped us win the league. Go do the math.
I mean,
take away his 14,
that was
take away his 14 Premier League goals. You're being such a disingenuous. Listen, you're being such a disingenuous fraud because you're using your sentiments to speak about the player and not the facts and the data.
No, yes, the player has the right to have such sentiments.
No. Listen.
He has the right to have sentiments.
You can again. I'm not telling him how to feel. What I'm saying is, if you make up stuff because you're sentimental and that is not true, I'll call you out on it. You cannot say Gyökeres did not help us win the league. You cannot say Gyökeres did not help us win the league when he scored 14 goals. Take away those 14 goals, right? Just remove them totally. You have 53 goals. We don't win the league with 53 goals. We don't. So that's you being disingenuous. Yes, I agree. Gyökeres is a bad player. Gyökeres is not good enough. But he scored 14 goals in the hardest league. Somehow he did it. If Gyökeres is that bad, that means Mikel Arteta must be a genius for getting 14 goals out of him and 21 goals in all competitions. That's what you're saying.
I agree. Totally agree. Big up to US Gunners, yeah. Please give Dio a sub on the Gunners Edge, yeah. The link is it's in the charts. Please give him a subscription down there and show him some love there. We always do this show every week, and as the Premier League season goes further, me and him will also keep going further. Yeah, and of course, apart from all this football thing, he's also my brother also. So this is what it is. People, from me and Dio, people, catch you guys soon. Maybe me and Oregon Guno might be here late night tomorrow, but it depends on what happens anyway. But from me and Dio, people, you're gonna catch us next week for a very hotly contested one, because that will be after the game against Coventry. So let's just pray we win. Yeah, if we don't win, Dio will answer lots of questions, people. Lots of questions, people. But I know we're gonna win, so it is what it is. Big ups to you, people. Catch you guys on the next one. See you soon, people. Peace.